Yo, what's going on, guys? DJS here. Wanted to bring you guys a recap of The Walking Dead, and it was the episode called Alone. It was the 13th episode in season 4. Lots to cover. Playing over some Ghosts gameplay here on the Scrapyard revised map here. But let's go ahead and jump in. So there's a lot to cover here. You start off in the beginning of the episode where Bob is walking around. Bob is a brother that kind of joins the gang like late at the prison. Nobody really knows who he is. His backstory is really not there until this episode, and all you hear is Bob was the last person like standing out of two different groups that he's been a part of. So it's kind of interesting to see how it happened for him, or not him leaving his groups, but it showed the parts basically of him being a wanderer and being straight up alone, which is again the title of the episode, and it makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways other than that. So pretty powerful to see him just wandering around, and you feel empathy for him, and that's something that you haven't felt for Bob in the past. He's just one of those people that's been kind of a cast member, but you kind of don't want to trust him. There's something off about him. Why was he the only survivor? They haven't said. He hasn't been vocal about it, but what if it's something like, I mean, it seems like he's genuinely a good person. He is also like an alcoholic, so that definitely has played a part into some issues, probably with him after the zombie apocalypse. But anyway, this whole feeling of alone, this whole theme of alone, it's pretty powerful. And I know at first glance when you guys watch this episode, the same as the last episode, it was kind of it's kind of feels like it's kind of drawn out, and there's not a lot of action, and some people might not really appreciate what these episodes are doing, and they're just kind of setting themselves up. Now, there's only 3 episodes left in this season, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and I think that that's part of the reason why people are getting so pissed. The anticipation of what's happening to the rest of the group and not having a clue and not knowing is letting us. It's just leaving us go stir crazy, really. And we all want to know where everybody's at and when they're gonna when their paths are gonna cross, if they're gonna cross, are they gonna reunite, those type of things, and we all have this kind of like in the back of our heads, and then we see this long kind of drawn out part where these people just walking down talking or whatever, and there's not it's not as complete as what we want. I think if you just patient, it will pay off in the long run, and you'll see that it's probably worth waiting for. So anyway, move forward, and it's almost like since the prison is gone, it's like they're living in this. It's like post apocalypse again, happening all over again. It's basically like starting all over, like it just happened again, because they're all separated. They're just trying to find their ways. They're trying to find food. They're just trying to stay positive, and it's the same thing that happened the first time around, except for this time it might hurt a little bit more because everybody that they had close to them is now apart, and there's definitely a certain death that's probably going to happen for some people out there, and it's just kind of like a really stressful time. So that being said, there's this overall vibe of being alone again. Sasha, which is a sister that's the other brother's actual literal sister, she has been somebody that we have not really heard a lot from, and she's just been kind of a supporting cast member. And she almost died at one point. She was sick along with Glenn, and it's kind of crazy to see she like is coming out of her shell a little bit, but at the same time, I don't know. For me personally, like I couldn't really get into her character. I feel like the emotions of the actress is just it's not. I just don't feel a lot of deep emotion there, but maybe that's the way it's supposed to be because she really hasn't officially let her guard down yet, and so maybe that's the kind of the vibe that we're supposed to get. But regardless, she's at this point where she's in denial. It should be called alone in denial, because she's in denial of possibly her brother being dead and never being able to be reunited with him again. Maggie's in denial as well. She's like preoccupied with everything, trying to figure out where Glenn is. Hasn't even asked any questions about her sister. Hasn't let the fact that her dad got his head lopped off affect her at all. Like really, she's really stuck in this thing where she's like, I need to find Glenn. And she mentioned this on The Talking Dead. It's like Glenn is like the kind of the shining ray of hope. She wants to find Glenn, and maybe after she finds Glenn, other things will sink in, and then she'll have a full breakdown. Who knows what's going to happen? But she needs to stay strong to be able to keep it together, to hopefully be able to find Glenn, and I think that's what she's doing. So, yeah, it's the whole denial thing. The craziest thing is, to me, Bob is actually was the previous lost one, and is now the light of hope. For these two characters, that's kind of powerful, because he's the one that was the alcoholic. He's the one that nobody trusted. He's the one that was a straight up loner and lost all faith in everything. Now that he found it, everybody that he found at the prison, that gave him a spark of new life. Meanwhile, everybody else feels like their life has been drained from them, because everybody has kind of been removed from that scenario. So I feel like Bob is like this sign of hope, and obviously you could see how he was able to take and bring together Sasha and Maggie to the point where, like, I mean, obviously there's some stuff happening with him and Sasha. You could see the like little love connection happening previous to this episode, but it finally sparked up a little bit. But you could see, like, I mean, it makes just everything kind of come together, and so I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see that happen, and it's cool to see that they're bringing in characters that you wouldn't have really thought they would have focused too much attention on, and then given them some purpose. But maybe that's because they're going to take somebody away from us, and who knows who and when. Then you cut over to Daryl and Beth. Obviously, there was a moment there. She sees the graveyard and stuff, and she sees the sign that says father on it, and she gets a little emotional. I feel like she's getting overly emotional at this point, though. She kept on talking about, like, to Daryl, like, oh, so you do think blah blah blah, it's worth it, there's good people out there and all these things, and all of a sudden, and she's like, oh, I think it's beautiful, this person's putting on makeup and giving these people in this mortuary like a purpose. But really, like, this dude is a crazy psychopath or something, because he's putting on makeup on dead people, and from what it looks like, he's literally just grabbing dead people, or like people that are alive, and killing them and putting makeup on them. So I'm not really sure what the story is to her, how she ended up getting abducted from this guy in this the casket mobile or whatever. But it's kind of crazy, because they ended up taking her away, and I guarantee you she's going to come back. If she comes back, and when she comes back, Daryl will probably end up finding her. Somebody's going to find her, maybe before Daryl. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. All I know is she's going to come back and be jaded as hell. It's going to be like she was overly hopeful, and that everything is going to be all right, and then she gets abducted by a crazy person. Like, there's only so many people left in the world, and she gets abducted by one that's absolutely batshit crazy. So I feel like her hope is going to go out the window again. She's going to be cold. She's going to be jaded. And in some sense, maybe her and Daryl will kind of switch places. She gave Daryl like a kind of a breath of fresh air with her mentality, and at the same time, now that this has kind of happened to her, I think that it's going to, again, affect her in a negative manner. Then you have Daryl at the end of this episode. Daryl is like sitting there broken down, lost, because he lost this girl, which frankly to me was the most annoying part. Like, obviously at first I was like, there's no way all those walkers just showed up at that door. There was a little bit of a ring from the cans, and all of a sudden all the walkers are there. At first I was like, dude, this is total horse crap. But then all of a sudden you notice it is like somebody totally set them up and set up this situation. So that being said, it's like, holy crap, like, this guy is like really kind of psycho. He's like luring people in with food and a clean house and whatever else, and then just having their way with them, or having his way with them. But Daryl's left alone and kind of vulnerable, and then all of a sudden a gang walks up of a handful of like just vigilantes or whatever the hell you want to call them, basically, which really resembles to me Daryl's past with his brother, like nomading around. Like, that's what his brother did before the apocalypse. These people are his group. This is what Daryl was like, kind of something that he came from. So, like, it kind of leaves you wondering, like, is he going to go ahead and just jump back in and be with this group and really have that same mentality as before? Or is he going to just try to find Beth? Obviously, my bet's on him trying to find Beth. I think that we all kind of have experienced Daryl being like a better person than he was before the zombie apocalypse ended, but before the zombie apocalypse happened. But it kind of leaves you wondering, like, he's stuck there with a bunch of people that really just want to take his stuff and leave him for dead. So he's gonna have to play along. Otherwise, they'll leave him 6 feet under. Or, I mean, who knows what's gonna end up happening? I mean, and then at the very, very end, Glenn sees a sign for the place. Is he gonna find everybody else? Is he gonna start seeing the signs for Maggie or not? And was Glenn alone? That's something that I don't know as well, because he was with some other people previously. Did everybody leave him, or what ended up happening? It didn't really show the other people. But anyway, that's the recap for the episode. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you guys do, give the video a thumbs up. Comment, let me know. You guys did comment last week and say to keep doing the series, and I appreciate the comments, guys. And I'm having a lot of fun doing this. It's something that I'm passionate about and I've been passionate about, and it's kind of cool to be able to recap them for you guys and give you guys my viewpoint on it. Have a good one, though. That's pretty much the end of the gameplay. We will catch you guys tomorrow for TNT and just other random videos through the week. Thanks for watching again. Peace.